And for the one economic policy we do know about, well, she can't really explain how she's going to pay for it. Joining us now, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley. Senator, of course, Kamala Harris occasionally steals Trump's ideas, like no taxes on tips. But what does this ghost agenda, as I like to call it, tell voters?
Well, Laura, I think the reason that Kamala Harris isn't saying anything about policy is not because she doesn't have policy positions, it's because she does have them. They are excruciatingly clear and they are excruciatingly bad. Let's start with the border. She's the border czar. She's in favor of amnesty for 15 million illegals in this country who she let in. Worse than that, she is in favor of gold-plated health care for all of those illegals, and she wants it paid for with taxpayer funds. So no wonder she doesn't want to talk about her plans. No wonder she doesn't want to talk about her plans to ban gas and diesel in this country. Think what that would mean for working people, what that would mean for farmers, what that would mean for food prices. So, yeah, she's out there proposing Soviet price controls because her own policy and agenda are bankrupting the American people.
Well, Nancy Pelosi said today that basically it's exciting that a woman of color is going to be president. And she spoke quite a bit about that. So they're saying, well, don't make this about DEI, make this about substance. OK, well, we try to make it about substance. They hide the substance. They roll out the economic agenda. It's panned by Jason Furman, the Obama economic advisor. And then they go back to the race angle with Pelosi today. It's an odd dynamic. It's like one or the other. Which one is it?
Yeah, well, they don't want to talk about her actual policy positions because they are so bad. And just take a look at those price controls. Here's the real thing, Laura. Here's what she should have said, Kamala Harris. She should have said, I was wrong to shut down American energy. I was wrong to try to ban all gas and diesel in this country. Let's reopen American energy. That would get prices down. That would get our people back to work. That would free us from our dependence on China, from our dependence on these foreign dictators that Joe Biden has led us to. But she's not doing any of that. She doesn't want to talk in detail because everything she stands for is anathema to the American people.
All right, Senator, stay with me for a moment. It turns out that the Democrats love keeping people out, after all, with a strictly enforced border. After all, they love ID checks, too. Well, proper credentials for entry or you're turned away. And they don't think it's inhumane to keep people behind the fence who just want a better life for those they love in Gaza. Fox News senior correspondent Mike Tobin is outside the convention center with the latest there. Mike, what can you tell us?
Well, we're now back at Union Park where the big demonstration is kind of diffusing. There's a little excitement here in the last couple of minutes. There was an injury, but apparently some guys got in a fight and somebody got his eye busted up. As far as excitement during the demonstrations, one of the things we did see was police executing kind of a textbook wedge move. There was an agitator that they wanted to get out of the crowd, so they busted through the crowd, plucked that agitator out of the crowd, and they pulled him back behind the police, the line of police riot cops, if you will. But one of the stops of their parade route today was Park 578, and that's where the situation got kind of tense. And that's because the demonstrators were able to get down about 3 sections of the anti-climb fencing on the outer perimeter of the security perimeter to get into the United Center and the DNC. So they got those 3 sections down, and they got in between 2 fences, if you will, the outer fence and the inner fence, and they demonstrated there for a while. We saw some of the Capitol Police put on their gas masks, and then the Chicago Police came with light riot gear. They came from both sides and squeezed the demonstrators back out the same holes they had entered that fencing area through. There was a little bit of like sticks being thrown at the police officers, some signs that hit them right in the riot gear, right on the head with their helmets, I should say. But as far as violent demonstrations, we certainly have seen worse. About 30,000 people and probably around 50 or 60 that seemed like they wanted to break off the parade route and they wanted to try to storm the fence. Clearly, they had some success getting 3 holes in the fence, but they never made it to the inner perimeter. And one of the things that the Chicago police have stated is that none of the protectees were in any danger at any point. Laura?
All right, Mike, thank you very much. We're going to go back to Senator Josh Hawley. Senator Hawley, again, this is an odd dynamic. Juan didn't seem to understand what I was saying, but you have the DNC, which is, I love Chicago. It's a great city, and it's under a lot of pressure of crime and migrants and so forth, but it's an incredible city. But look, they understand security, the Democrats, when their safety matters. When their safety matters directly impacted, you have, I think we counted 8 ID checks to get into the building. The fencing is like, forget the protesters I don't think they're going to get anywhere near this convention center. The barricades, they're fortified. You have law enforcement who are in this moment respected. It's quite an interesting dynamic, again, when their own well-being and safety could be directly threatened. And all we're saying, and again, to my dear friend Juan, who I love, let's apply that same approach to the border and make sure people are voting who are supposed to be voting. That's what we're saying.
100%, Laura. I noticed that the Democrats are all for walls when the walls protect them. They're all for voter photo ID when it is in their interest to do so. And like you said, they're all for cops when the cops are protecting their own personal safety. But for everybody else in America, you're out of luck. Here's the deal. Let's not forget Kamala Harris is the one who opened the border. She has been vice president for 3.5 years. She was the border czar. She opened the border. Now she wants amnesty for all 15 million illegals, and she wants health care, taxpayer-funded health care for illegals. If you think your medical bills are already by prescription drugs cost what? Wait until Kamala Harris has you paying for every illegal in this country. Those are just the facts, Laura. They don't want to talk about them because it's so insane, but that's the truth.
Senator, thank you very much.